What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I wanted to bring you guys the new Alarak rework build and my thoughts on it. I'm just kind of looking at the talents right now, and honestly everything that they did with him looks amazing. There's a lot of cool new stuff going on, and he definitely still has his his builds, right? And there's, I think, still better talents than others, but there's just so much going on, so I just wanted to go down, break it down for you guys a little bit and just give you my opinion. I will say that this build probably will not be optimal. There's like a lot of numbers going on, so with this hero it's gonna come down to, when someone finally breaks down the numbers and does the math, like which talent is the most efficient. But just from my point of view, I'm just gonna talk about the ones that I like, and yeah, that's basically it. We have this talent. It's just going to increase the healing received from your E. It's pretty decent, I guess. You'd be healing for 100, like 100, almost 200 health every time you E per hero hit. So that's not bad sustain wise. But you have this talent that is, as long as you're above 80% health, your basic attacks are reduced or recharged 20% faster. So this is kind of essentially the same amount of healing, I guess, if you were to hit that many heroes. You also get a little bit more damage from these two, but you can also take extended lightning. Really, all three of these talents are pretty powerful. So extended lightning, it reduces your sadism. And heroes, every time you hit a hero in the center of your lightning surge, like, if I were to lightning surge here and hit this, I would get a quest done. You get quest stuff, so after 5 you get 20% range, after 15 you add a slow to your E, which is pretty nice, and then if you ever, just at any point in time, hit 3 heroes with a single cast, so if I hit hero, 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 and then I just complete the quest instantly with all the rewards and my sadism, I get my sadism back. So it's pretty cool now. They reward you for completing quests, they take your sadism, and then they reward it back. Honestly, sustaining power and extended lightning are both really powerful. Ruthless momentum is powerful in lane, I guess. The only problem with this talent is that you do have to be above the health threshold, right? So we'll just take extended lightning. Next, we have these 3 sort of more like damage focused talents. The first is going to be Q. You have, after 15 heroes, decrease the damage. After if you ever hit 2 heroes with a single one, increase the damage. And then if you ever hit 3 heroes with a single one, get all the other rewards and increase the damage by 60. So at most, you're going to increase your Q damage by 180 with this quest. We have negatively charged. This one I think is bonkers, right? Lightning surge damage bonus to enemies between Alarak and his victim is increased by 200%. But every single time you hit an enemy between you and someone else, you increase your damage of your E by 5%. And this is a repeatable quest. So you can have a 200% on top of a 200%, a 400% E. Like, we're talking massive E damage. Massive. Like, crazy. This talent's crazy. This is probably what we end up doing, right? And then we take this range talent at 1. That way we can make sure we get those. We're hitting the front line's just getting messed up. But we also have Show of Force, which is pretty cool, and I like this comboing abilities. So if you hit all 3 of your abilities within 2 seconds, you do additional damage. So with Alarak, it's like mostly like that. That's your combo. So you would do the additional 160. Essentially, it's this. You could, for me personally, it's that, I can just get the additional 160 on my Q instead of having to hit all 3 of my abilities for the 160. Because sometimes you want to save your W to get away, honestly. So now we have our 7 talents. Increases the Discord silence duration. This no longer reduces sadism. Also, screw you, Varian. Essentially, this is just amazing against a lot of tanks that want to maximize damage input and then get away, like Murden, for example. He's like, oh, I can tank up, and then, oh, I'm almost dead, I'm gonna jump. Like here, it's like, oh, you're almost dead. Okay, now you're silenced for two seconds, right? 2.25. Sorry, they didn't even decrease. Like, I'm surprised they didn't push this down to 0.5 and make it a 2-second flat silence. Instead, they let it stay 2.25. So really nice. But we also get slow on W, which is pretty powerful as well. So now you're, W slows, and then you have applied force as always, which is what we used to take, but now it's also giving you the range, which I think was a 16 talent, I want to say, and you do lose that sadism, right? But the range is sizable, right? So it allows you to, get picks even further away now. Honestly, this one for me is going to be a very hard talent here because all of these are so good. Slow on W is powerful. It will probably, at the end of the day, as far as competitiveness goes, go with applied force because, I mean, you can get picks on people like this far away, like that's an insane threat level. That's an insane threat level. Like the threat range on that is pretty nutty. But dissonance, again, adding a 0.75 silence to your silence already is good, right? It's just, is this threat better, right? Look at, like, this is your threat range. Like, that's, if you're within this range of Alarak, you can get comboed. So it's it'll be interesting here, depending on what the other team is. I think if the other team's like heavy tank, heavy frontline, then this is better, right? A lot of the times with tanks, you're actually never Wing them. You're just Qing them because they're walking at you. So this would probably be better against those type of heroes. So I don't know if they changed, I actually do not know if they changed these two. They probably shouldn't have. They're both really good, just powerful as is. So it doesn't look like they did. I mean, Counter-Strike's still insane. I just played in an HCC game and I got to play some Alarak and I ended up counter-striking, I think, 3 D-Storms in one game. So this talent's just crazy. Makes you immune, and then you do, like, a buku's amount of damage afterwards. So, nice. A bunch of 13 talents for your passive. So, basic attacks. Oh, the other cool thing about this hero that I haven't talked about is every time you get a kill on him, you get sadism now. So, every time you get a kill, you get increased damage by 3%, up to 30, and then when you die, you lose it. So, it's like built-in gathering power, which is incredible. Like, I love that. So basic attacks against heroes increase your sadism by 6% for 4 seconds, stacking up. So you can have 60% sadism if you take this plus this talent, and you get full stacked. Allied deaths. So this is the old one, right? So this is just the old pure malice. This is what was at his 13 before. This retains permanently, so every time you have a death on your team, you do get permanent 6% up to 30. Again, on top of your kills, if you do get 10 kills, you can have up to 60% sadism. Pretty nutty. So this is an activatable one. Activate to mark an enemy hero for 300 seconds. Hitting the marked hero with Discord Strike increases sadism by 3. Killing the marked hero increases sadism by 6. And lowers the cooldown of sadism gained from rock is lost on death. Okay, so I actually have no idea how this sound works. It's looking like I get 3% sadism every time I hit a Q on that person for 300 seconds. Let's just take it and put it on the dummy. Okay, so my sadism is here at 80. I think what it says is it's basically permanently yeah. So if you put this on a tank and you keep hitting Q on them, oh my, this hero is gonna do so much damage. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I think this is the best one. See, you just slap this on the tank, and every time you hit Q on them, you get this. So the question now is, after 300 seconds, do I lose all of this, right? I guess we'll end up learning this by the end of the video. The question is do I lose all of this? Because as the talent says, I lose this sadism when I die. But it doesn't say I lose the sadism if they die. But I'm assuming that that's how this has to work. Unless, otherwise this talent would just be out of this world. Alright, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, we're at 173 right now, and we'll continue looking. I still think that this talent is actually really powerful, though. Like, out of these three, this one's still really good, because, again, you can just put it on their tanks and just smack their tanks around. The basic attack one's decent, but you have to hit heroes. You have to auto heroes. So sometimes like putting yourself in risk is scary, but you do auto heroes in team fights, so it would be fairly easy to stack that up. All right, so 16 talent Discord Strike grants sadism bonus to basic attacks. Hitting an enemy hero with Discord Strike grants 50% hit to Alarak's basic attack for 4 seconds. So this is, I mean, this seems pretty good with this talent, right? With the if you're hitting the tanks, like if you go dissonance plus right plus lethal onslaught, and you like pick on a Nubarak, this could be really powerful. Center hit grants free lightning surge cast. Okay, well that's disgusting as well. So hitting an enemy hero with the center of my lightning surge now allows me to cast it again on a different primary target for 2 seconds. So yeah, so essentially you can't just say, oh, okay, boom, boom. Like, you can't just go EE, right, on the same target. You got to go, like, E on one, E on another. Right? So they did kind of hit it a little bit. And now we have basic attacks against slowed, stunned, silenced, and rooted heroes. Reduce the basic cooldowns of our abilities by 2.5 seconds. So this is pretty sick. So if we go dissonance, and then we take this, we can build our own because it's silenced. We can also do it with hindered motion. If we go hindered motion, we have 2 seconds. Technically, the dissonance is a bit better. This also works really good with like Arthas. Could you imagine slowing people the entire time? This is actually really powerful. Both of these are, I would say, really good. If you can't auto attack, sometimes you just can't auto with this character. Like the other team's threat, like with the game that I played the other day, I was against an Arthas and an Anub. That threat's pretty high actually, but something like a Joanna, a Murden, things like that, like the threat of those heroes is not near as much. They're not just gonna kill you if you get near them, so you can kind of get away from them, right? If that makes sense. So mocking strikes would be really powerful if you had a heavy engage too. Like if you were a double tank Alarak, I think this is good talent. Because your cooldowns are fairly low. So 2.5 seconds, you know. 2 autos is 5 seconds off your E. You can cast your E again. 5 seconds off this. 3 seconds till Discord's up. So it's really good. It's probably between one of these two. The other would be if, if you take Lethal Onslaught against, if you want to punch out like an Anubarak, let's just take it. Imagine the noob's in front of us and we silence him and punch him. 600 damage auto. And I was right. This right of Rakshir does stay. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, this is the talent thing. Oh my goodness. That's disgusting. So the mark dropped from the dummy and I still have this sadism. I do lose this when I die, mind you, but yeah, if you... Oh, for 4 seconds. Oh my gosh, it continues on. Oh my gosh. Dude, alright, screw it. Just go dissonance now. Oh my, 642 autos? It's only, you mark the hero though, right? You mark the hero. Yeah, you mark that hero. Yeah, so it's only for said hero, but still 642 autos. I mean, mind you, dude, the whole so something that I haven't even got to do in try mode is this negatively charged. This is a permanent 5% increase on E damage on the center target permanently. Like, and it goes on for the entirety of the game. Like, oh my gosh. All right, so now they changed last lap, and this talent is awesome. Like, they're finally introducing, like, with this talent, I read this talent and I was like, okay, Blizzard finally is giving people the ability to make a play. And I think last lap is exactly that. So last lap, you activate it, it removes all roots, slows, and damage of over time effects, okay? If you cannot damage 3 enemy heroes with basic abilities within 3 seconds of using this, you have 1 health. So you do not die, right? But you have 1 health. But the reason that I like this is that it's very possible now to, let's say you're dying, right? You blink away, you know, right there. I just did the damage, and now I can reset. I can reset in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Or even better, you know, now if they're dying, I can go after them, you know, hit my abilities, and I reset again. Right? So, or there, I messed up. Uh-oh. Now I'm at 1 health. But it allows not only people to see a skilled player making a play, right? Wow, the quest talent is crazy. That quest talent is crazy now. But, you know, it gives some defensive plus aggressive options. The real question is do we see, do we even see people go that though? Oh yeah, hit the mini. Okay, that's a good idea. The other thing that there's a cool trick that I'll let a lot of you in on that some people know, some people don't know. And Cover, who's like an Alarak god, and he's one of my subs in my chat. He made an Alarak guide. You should check it out, especially since Alarak just got buffed. It's basically like the I don't even know what his name for it is, but essentially you can force people to like so a lot of times when you W here, the person will like pull into you and then you can combo them, right? But with this kind of move, essentially what you do is you pull, and right as you pull them, you click towards them. It's like a side swap combo. So you pull them and then you step towards them, and they'll move through you, and then you combo behind, right? So like that. Right? Typically they'll pull to you in front of you, but if you do it this way, then they get behind you. Takes a little bit of practice, but it can be used well because essentially what it does is it allows you to get the body block on somebody off your combo, which is pretty sick. But it does take a little bit of practice because you have to practice, you know, pushing your W, then right clicking, and then getting your mouse behind your character to hit the combo. But it's pretty effective, honestly. I'm not even sure if he came up with it, but whoever came up with it, it's a high level kind of Alarak mechanic that most Alarak players would never think to do. And I mean, I don't even use it that much, but for the times that you do use it, it is effective, especially when you're up close like this. It's best when you're like in melee range, because then it works 100% of the time. Most of the time when you're like max range like that, there's just no reason to not do the normal combo. But when you're like this, you can do it pretty much 100% of the time. As you guys can see here. Oh man, Alarak's gonna be so sick now. I cannot wait. Alright, so that's it. This is it. Basically just like showing you guys a little bit of Alarak mechanics. If you see, if I don't right click, if I just combo, and then he won't, like if I'm this close and I just combo, he usually doesn't make it behind you. But if you're this close and you pull and you move, then they usually they do end up behind you. Okay, yeah, let me go hit art this really quick with the E before we end this video.